Hello again, thanks for stopping by. I wanted to make a follow-up of some progress that I've made using Bolt.new to work on the application. If you saw my first video about this, I was just making the initial parts of the application. And now in this video, I have set up a Firebase backend from Google, including user authentication and user accounts and some admin settings and several other different features. I've used up many millions of tokens, and I've got in fights with the AI. It sometimes removes features and it puts in like boilerplate code, and I know some other people have talked about that. It still is all very amazing what is able to be accomplished with this tool. We're talking about just a handful of hours. And I've now integrated backend services, authentication services, and a bunch of other things that I'll talk about using Firebase. There's animation in the website, there's admin tools, there's contact pages, sign up pages, login pages, and things like that. So with that said, let's go ahead and I'll just start clicking through the application so you can see what new things are in here. I had it create a nice looking background. It's a picture of the earth since we're talking about mastering the world of IT. I thought that made sense. And so I can scroll down and there's some nice animation happening on the page. And we have different like cards of information, and at one point I did have these clickable, but I had it remove those from this page. And so there's just different sections here like student success stories, testimonials, the number of students enrolled in course hours, hands-on labs, success rate. And so if you're ready to get started, you can click on enroll now. That takes you to a place to create an account, and all this does work with the backend Firebase, so I guess I'm going to show that just for a moment here. This is basically the Firebase and Firestore, and it's just a screenshot of it. But like there's a contacts collection, subscriptions collection, system settings collection, which are like admin tools, user activity, so I have it tracking every time somebody basically logs in or does something, and users. So then there's documents over here, and then the individual field. All that is now integrated just with working with Bolt and explaining what I wanted it to do to link to this Firebase. And down here in the bottom left, you can see I'm on the Spark plan, which is the free plan. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. So that is what's going on as far as the backend services that are being used. And it updates this Firestore rules periodically as things are being built out. And also I can click here and it goes down to the footer. So we have a list of features for the class or courses, the curriculum, a pricing page, an FAQ page, about us, contact, the legal type stuff, privacy policy, terms of service, cookie policy. Then we have a support center or help center and documentation. And right now, since I'm not logged in, you don't see your name down here, but I will log in as both a regular user and an admin and show what you see. We also have a light mode, so the screen's going to get really bright here in a second. I won't leave it there for long, but I'm going to click light mode. Now we can see it knows, because of how I had the system built, to just go ahead and switch the themes. A light theme here, so you can see how it changed everything, and I think it still looks nice. And you can see the graphics in the background and see the animation happening as the content loads. If you wanted to get started now, you could click that. It takes you to this page to create your account. You can't do things without having it. You have to sign in. There's a sign in page, which we'll do here in a moment. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and switch it back to dark mode. There is a login success toast message. We have toast messages throughout the system when certain things are happening. And now if I go down to the bottom of the page, you can see that I'm logged in as this user, and it knows that there are different claims. So for an admin or a user, it's keeping track of that, and based on that it shows or hides certain content. And let's go ahead and click on curriculum, and you can see some animation there as I scroll it onto the page. It's doing some nice animation. And if we come down to this section, there's actually a lot of other pages that I had it build. So like introduction to IT infrastructure, if I click on that, it goes to a more detailed page that explains the chapter overview and some video lessons, a picture, and then some more details, resources that you can download, planning guides, templates, any documentation, and then taking a quiz to understand your comprehension of the material. If you wanted to sign out, there is a sign out button there. Let's go ahead and look at the pricing page. So there's 3 different plans, and if you want to get started, I did actually get started on doing the Stripe integration, and I had it roll part of that back just for right now, but I plan on doing that. I have a test account set up, which I can show that in a moment here. Stripe, go ahead and open that for a second. And there's not much here to show really. As I said, I'm starting to get it linked in. I created a product catalog. If I click on there, there is a annual subscription, a cheap option, and then the IT training access, which is like a lifetime option. I started to create those and link it up with the system. Made some progress with that, but again, I put it on hold to go ahead and build some other things first. And if we scroll down, there's like a matrix for a price comparison. If I go to the help center right now, there is a set of what I call testing new pages. You could do a free preview content, which could be anywhere on the site. It's just here for now, of the different training available, and watch some videos. Then you could go see the full curriculum or view the pricing plans from here. And we have a FAQ, and so you can just click through these. Let's go back to the home page. Scroll down a little bit here. I did have a sample certificate. I think it removed it at some point. Now that I'm looking at this again, I'll see if I can find it. Give me 1 second. I couldn't find it, but that's okay. I can show it in another video. Let's go ahead and click on the premium content. And because this person doesn't have or hasn't signed up for the service yet, they have an account, they just see this view plans. You can click on that and it goes back to this page. Let's go back to the footer again, and let's say we want to see the privacy policy, so we can look at that and scroll through the privacy policy. Again, it shares the same kind of animation. And the About Us page can tell you about the team of IT professionals dedicated to providing comprehensive training and expertise in modern infrastructure and technology. So there's like bios of everyone involved, and an explanation about the importance of professional IT training. Scott DevOps on YouTube. Well, what else can we look at here? I think that's all of the main pages. I'm going to go ahead and sign out, and then I'll sign back in as an admin. So I'll be right back. I'm going to get logged in as an admin now. I just logged in as an admin. Now you can see the sign out button is available at the top there. And if we scroll back to the bottom, we can see here I am logged in as an admin, and it says that there. And now you see all these other tools that are available. The Bolt AI built these for me. I built them one at a time. You can take a look at them and see them working. They are working with the backend Firebase that I showed. Now, I do want to mention I did have some fights, I guess you would call it, with the AI. Sometimes it would remove content. It didn't do it very much, but it did sometimes just forget about content that I already had, and once in a while it might move it around. A few times I had to like restart the whole browser and it had to reload everything. I saw a couple network errors over here in the left side, which was a little disturbing, but everything came back. It just sometimes it was a little glitchy, I guess I would say, but it's always come back in the few cases where there were some issues. And there were a lot of errors as I went through building all these pages, but it was always able to fix everything, which is pretty amazing. So these pages haven't been loaded. It'll take a second. Here is a contact messages. As I mentioned, there's a contact page. I guess we can go there and take a look. But I also have this tools menu. Since it's an admin tool, only admins can see this. And it knows that I'm an admin. And this is an editing page, so we could change the status if we want to say in progress, and then we can save it. And it's saving it back in that Firebase. And there's obviously a lot more you could do with this, but you can scroll through the list and see everyone who filled out the contact us form. Let's look at a system setting page that works with this page. If we go here, right here I can turn on and off sign up. If for whatever reason there's system maintenance in the back end and I want to turn it off, I can just click that. Now it is saving that into the database when you click save changes here. And this contact status options, if you remember when we were just on that other page, I could add, remove them from the screen, and it's using Redux in the background to save some state in between the page loads and page operations. If we go back and look at the other page, the contact messages, that's where this drop down list is getting its information from, another admin tool that you can use. User management right now is actually using fake data, but it has a paging element, which is what I wanted it to do. This would be built in an actual separate application. A lot of these type of admin tools, for now, they're here. We can go to database management, and there's just some basic information first. I'm intending to have some other features here. These have a place in the Firestore database. So if I change any of these, enable the email system, enable SMS notification, enable the chat system, turn on Stripe processing, which would put it in basically production mode, and just some different things that you can turn on and off. And then when you're done, you just click save changes, like a admin panel. And subscription management. This is talking to the backend database also. Right now it's having an issue that I haven't been able to figure out. I just haven't had time really to look. With the email, it's really talking to a couple different tables. In fact, that shows you over here that it knows that when it loads that page it has an issue. And I tried to get it to fix it, and it can't fix this. It's really the only problem that I've seen that it was not able to fix. But I'm going to look at the code and see what's going on and just more than likely fix it myself or tell it how to fix it. And so you can use these tools here to say I want to extend a month, extend 6 months. It's doing that toast message, and it's updating this information here in this page. And if I scroll down, you can see other users. So these users actually were created with other scripts that I ran from a Firebase SDK. I'm not going to get into that in this video. The Bolt AI was explaining the best way to go about some of this was to create some scripts, and I talked to it about that. I worked with it and generated these scripts and ran them from a command prompt, which basically seeded some information into the Firebase backend. That was pretty cool. I think I have about 6 or 7 different scripts now that do some of this initial work for the backend. And that might be it for all of the admin tools. If we scroll down to the bottom, I also had it build a admin panel down here. As you saw when I was logged in as a user, we did not see this down here, or when I was just not logged in at all. These tools only show up if you're an administrator. And so if we go to the help center now, this user is not yet quote unquote signed up because the e-commerce platform is not yet enabled. I started to work on it, as I mentioned, but if I click on premium content, since this person's not yet officially signed up, they see the same page as what a regular user who is signed in would see. And I believe if I get started, yes, it just says payment processing will be available soon. It was doing some work in the backend database at one point, but like I said, I pulled that back for now. Well, I think that's most of the new things that I've added in since the first video. Made a lot of progress. It's really fun building the backend tools with it also. It did encounter some problems, as I mentioned, but besides this one issue, it's been able to recover from everything. It can be a little unnerving when things like that happen. You also have to remember this is in the cloud and it's backed up. And you can also download a version of the code. I wanted to just do a quick overview of the files that it has created so you can see just how much work that it's done in just really a handful of hours. The other thing I was going to say is you can always download. If you click this download button here, it will download the code to your local machine. Let's go ahead and start at the top. I mean, we have all our standard configuration files here that it needs, and the Firestore rules is where we have to keep configuring things as new things are added into the product or website. There are a few scripts. There's one here. There's also a couple in the root directory. That's those node scripts that I ran that did some database maintenance that was necessary. Had to use the Firebase SDK, which was installed on the machine. So that's what the scripts folder is. But let's go back up to the top and give you an idea of what it's been generating here. I won't go into all the folders because there's way too many. We have the About Us page. We have all the admin pages, contacts, database, security settings, subscriptions, and users. You saw most of those pages. A layout page, the API. I started building some APIs and webhooks, really mostly for the checkout and e-commerce integration. Then we have all the chapters. There's pages for all of them, built into error, loading, and page. It kept a consistent format there. And so all kinds of pages there, and each one has different content on it about web services, virtualization, service integration, Windows Server Essentials, and so forth. The Contact Us page, a cookies page, which we may have seen that. The curriculum page, we saw that. The FAQ page, features, forgot password, free preview, the help and articles, which I guess I didn't click on that, but there's actually a sub page called Create Your Account that you can drill down into as an example when you're on the help page. The login page, we saw that. The premium content page, the pricing page, the privacy page, sign up page, sitemap, terms, and then all these different topics which are linked from several different places in the system. The web services page, our global style sheet, a layout, and a page. And then we get into components. There's the fade in and fade out, or scroll fade, stagger children, and then our auth provider and protected routes, our contact page, subscription pages, and then all of these UI pages or components. There's a lot of them. There actually is a certificate preview, which I mentioned that it took it off the home page. It's still there, and I can tell it to add it somewhere else. I don't think I'm going to put it back on the front page. Then we have our shared footer. We have our nav bar, which the application is responsive. You can see that. I guess I'll show that for a minute here at the end. We have a use toast hook, Redux. It's begun to be integrated in the application for sharing some state in different places. And then our auth, our Firebase file, Stripe integration was started, so there is some code in there, the subscription page or code. And that's it. That's an awful lot of stuff for just really a handful of hours. And I would say half of the time that I spent was fighting with the AI, because it would sometimes remove things or hide things or just sometimes get a few things wrong. But still, it's absolutely amazing to me that it can build so many things so quickly. It's like it can almost work as fast as you can think up things. I do believe you want to have a good plan before you start jumping into this. It could save you some of the tokens. The tokens are $20 for 10 million tokens. And I didn't mention it yet, but over here I only have 7 million left in this current batch of tokens. And they do go by pretty rapidly if you are building things very quickly, which you can do. I've also noticed a little bit of slowdown from time to time, but not much. Since I've already clicked through all the pages, it loads pretty quickly, but when you restart the server or as it's rebuilding things, it can get kind of slow. And I'm sure part of that's based on usage. I can change the size of the browser. Let's go ahead and change the size of the browser just a little bit, and you can see how it becomes responsive, and it goes to a hamburger menu that you can click on. And you can, of course, scroll through the page, and it has reformatted everything in a nice looking format. Just wanted to show some progress. I plan to keep building it and integrating with Stripe as a test system, and then SMS, I believe, and email systems to do email verification, and a whole list of other things I have on my to-do list. I thank you for stopping by to check out this video. I plan to make another video once I make some more progress to add some other features. I'd like to integrate with SMS system, email authentication or email verification, and some other ideas I have cooked up. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. If you like this channel, please like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when I post new content.